Right, hello, welcome to the Game Week 19 Sim Data. We started one with Darren and his internet went down. So we will see how I get on here. I'm just going to try share my screen and I'll just talk over it. Let's see how we get on. Right, let me check that on my YouTube and we shall see if we are good. Hopefully we are. My channel, videos. Just waiting, but we'll see. Restream. Looks like we're live, so I'm just going to go and talk gibberish and hopefully you're listening. Okay. So, back to the beginning. Me and Darren spoke about you lot ruining Meg. So there's your Meg information this week. Thanks for that. Spoke about these games briefly. I think Villa are a good option this week, even though I don't trust them very much. They may be okay. Charlton, no good. So yeah, Villa looking quite good there. Kufor actually did all right. Hendry did okay. Even the defenders of Alpine, maybe a Mark Poom could be a good shout this week. Bolton Man City, I don't think you have Bolton. I think Man City away, a good option. Some good players there. Their XG was the highest away. Yeah, it was the highest away. So yeah, maybe Man City midfielder and attacker, but it was very different. Just texting Darren. I've started on my own now. Right, so yeah, into it. Let's focus. Chelsea v Newcastle. So this is a game I think most might avoid, but I don't think you necessarily could do that. I saw Shearer do quite well in a couple of games. Jimmy's an option, Zola's an option, Stanek did well, Babayara is always good as well, so a bit harder to call on the predictions, but we're there. Everton, West Brom, quite low scoring. West Brom as a defensive option could be strong this week. Leeds and Liverpool, I think people will ignore, but actually defensively it's pretty good. They've both only conceded, less than a goal a game, so that's a very strong option. Man United, very disappointing against Blackburn. Barely, only 3 times did they score more than 3, which is very low for a Man United home game. So yeah, not going to be a massive amount of hauls in that game. It's going to be quite low scoring. So maybe actually defence goalies may be the safe way to play it, but Rude is steady in his goals. Southampton, Birmingham, I think both sides can be used more on the attacking sense than the defensive side. Annoyingly, Spencer's not playing. James Beattie popped up. He did quite well. So did Stern, John and Morrison. So not bad there. Sunderland v Fulham. So yeah, Sunderland have repped here. They haven't got their best team out, which means it's going to be affected. So defensively, you look at Arca, but actually I think Fulham's 1.5 will be even higher against a rep team. So the defence could be off the table. The midfielders are not the players you want. There's no Piper, there's no Rayner, so possibly you don't want to pick them there. And Flo is orange flagged at 90%, which means he could easily go off injured early. So despite having the best XG, I actually think Sunderland may be in a void this week. And it's the same for Tottenham below. Tottenham also repping, so I expect middle data to be slightly better. But Sunderland and Tottenham I would avoid. We saw with the Arsenal Birmingham game the other week, teams often really underperform when they're playing a rep side. So I don't trust Sunderland and Tottenham's data this week. West Ham, Arsenal. Arsenal look pretty good as a pick. Maybe safer to go on the defensive side as they didn't particularly go mad with the 3+, but no one did really. Newcastle scored as many 3+ as them, and Man City scored double what they did. Right, moving on. So in Reds, I just tried to highlight the away teams this week to make it a bit easier. So you can see clean sheets. I mean, realistically, if you're playing this game on the safe side, which I often do, and I'm pretty high up in the table, and Man United and Arsenal defence is probably the way forward. You could gamble it, maybe a Villa goalkeeper. Not sure I trust Spurs in there as much there. You could easily possibly look at Liverpool or West Brom as your defenders. Maybe Borough, their numbers being bumped playing against the rep side. So that's an option there. Again, half-time clean sheets kind of shows you the same thing as well. Liverpool slightly coming out. I didn't highlight Arsenal in red. But we'll see what there. So 3+, Sunderland's was massive this week. And I would be saying, yes, pick Sunderland. But actually, like I've said with the rep, I don't think you do. Villa look fairly good, but I don't trust them. I don't trust them goal wise. You don't see many games where Villa go off 4-5-0. It'll probably be a 1-2-0 game, as we'll look in the data in a minute. Man City, I think, you want to gamble on their attackers. Benarbia, Carbone, Anelka, whoever else is playing up front, they're good. Newcastle and Arsenal, maybe. Birmingham, Fulham, maybe. We'll see it from there. Your weekly stats. So Veron and Flo were the highest. So this is what I talked earlier about people's teams going in different directions. So you could easily pick Rude, but they're unlikely to score 3+. He might get you 8 to 10 points if it goes his way. I think there's probably more upside of picking a Silvestri. I've seen the formation where a lot of people may go for Beckham with a lot of space down that side. I'm more leaning towards Man United defence, but again, it's your decision. Flo, again, 100% fit with a Sunderland team. I'd be picking him, orange flagged, and 90% with a rep team. It's a gamble. I'd look further down this list of goals. I mean, again, actually, is Jimmy the safest option this week? He very well could be. I like Defoe, seems to score pretty well. Pedersen's on a bit of form. James Beattie's playing. There's a few options there which you could go for. Away, Anelka and Sava will probably be the highest owned, but you can never forget about Thierry Henry. Oh, hello, Kat. Okay, you're in my way. Excuse me. Cheers, mate. And yeah, even Clinton Morrison doing well. Michael Owen, a few other ones there. Kumas could be a pick for an away midfielder. In the home assist, Rayner wasn't, well, he's not playing. So yeah, Johnson, Tomasek, Svensson's not playing, Beckham. So again, maybe that's leaning towards your Beckham pick. Zola did quite well. Kocha, again, playing in that good position. Away assists, Arsenal pretty strong in there. So actually, is it Arsenal midfielders that you want to pick? But then you're losing out on the possibility of that clean sheet or an Henry Hall. Vieira, Perez doing quite well. Benarbia, Carbone, pretty solid option there. Boateng did quite well. Tottenham are repping. Stolkers and Collins did quite well. Again, Sunderland are repping. Man of the matches, RVN and Flo. Dean Richards, surprisingly, there. But again, I don't believe he plays this week. And then Henri Vieira and Kufel. So again, he did well for me last week in the end. His data's been much, much better against Charlton, as you would expect, as it was last week in their fixtures. So this is what I'm using to pick my teams. Like I said, you may want to put a strike through Sunderland and you may want to put a strike through Tottenham. Again, home, you're looking at, again, goal scoring wise, Villa, Man United, Bolton, Southampton, Chelsea, possibly Sunderland. Defensively, maybe United, Villa, Leeds, Chelsea could be top options. Away goals, Arsenal, Man City, Arsenal, Fulham, Birmingham would probably be my highest attacking ones. West Brom can do it, but they're a bit more dour. And again, defensively, Arsenal, Liverpool, West Brom, Middlesbrough. So yeah, those in the top 4, 5 of each of those tables, I would say, are a team you could pick from. Anyone below it, you probably want to avoid. Most certain wins, Man United, certain to win. Sunderland, probably not that high with that rep team. Villa, surprisingly, with a lot of wins. So can they be trusted more than I think? Arsenal, the best wins for an away side. West Brom, actually the second best wins for an away side. Could they be trusted as that, again, away defender? That's what I'm on at the moment. And then, a few other teams there you can see with more certainty of wins. Obviously, Charlton, Blackburn, Newcastle, West Ham, you can't really trust them to get a result. Fulham, Middlesbrough's may be higher. And then make your decisions from there. Right, looking at the games a bit more in depth this week. So, again, you could get it right with Villa. Let's say, I don't know, you pick on Sim. Where have Charlton done well there? Yeah. Mark Poom, 10 chances, clean sheet. Alpine got lots of man of the matches. That's an option there. 29 half-time clean sheets. Kufor popped up in quite a few games. Crouch did when he played. Dublin did. So obviously Albach, if he plays, he'll have higher options. Villa's striker options are always low because they rotate their strikers in these sims. So it's not like Crouch is playing 20 sims. It's much lower than that. Lee Henry could be an option. I think you avoid Charlton. If you do, you go for Bartlett, Jensen, or Yule. They can easily have a game where they dominate it. Again, you can see a couple of games where Jensen got man of the match, for example. He scored, he got an assist, and he got man of the match. That wouldn't be too bad in that 2-2 draw, sim number 5. Bolton Man City, weird game. Started off, again, 4-0, 5-2 Bolton, 3-3, 4-3. It could be anything. It finished off a lot more lower scoring. So hard to predict game, but if you get it right, you could do really well. Both teams have a lot of players that can score. So it's about picking the right one. It's quite hard to predict, actually, about what's going to do there. More attackers, midfielders from both sides, and defenders. Chelsea, Newcastle. Again, there were some convincing wins either way. You can see a Shearer hat-trick in a 3-3 draw there. That's pretty good from him. Newcastle winning one of the games 3-1. Chelsea winning a few games 3-1 as well too. A few closer ones, 1-0, 1-1. So hard to predict. Stanek with a few more goals than usual in what I noticed in Sim Data. Jimmy's again pretty solid. Shearer's always an option as an away striker who's on pens and he can score in any game. Babayaro getting the highest amount of 10s and 9s. Don't forget about him. Zola getting the highest amount of the matches and goals and assists. So he's also an option. Everton, West Brom, very low scoring. Again, West Brom managed to score 4 in one game. They often score the 1 or 2. Everton, 7 clean sheets again. So for me, I'm looking at a Clement or somewhere at the moment, maybe a Darren Moore. He does get more of the average ratings. And again, let's say if we pick that in a West Brom 2-0 or 1-0 win, we could be laughing really well. Kumas did pretty well. Roberts did okay. There are also options which you can think about. Avoid Everton unless you're Jack Brokenshaw. Maybe go for Radzinski, mate. Take a gamble. Or again, West Brom could be Dower. Maybe it's your Unsworth game. Leeds v Liverpool. So yeah, low scorings. Lots of. It looks like a 1-1 by that big chunk in the middle. Getting quite a few nils, 7 blanks for Leeds, 4 for Liverpool. Liverpool away defender could be a very good option. Radibi did quite well in the points ratings. Hard to call. Michael Owen, not too bad as a striker. Won't score you 2, 3, but he possibly will get you a goal. Leeds, Ian Hart, actually their top scorer this week. So yeah, why not? Ian Hart, always a shout. Man United, Blackburn, started off well with a 4-0 win. And then it's just Dower. Look, 0-0, 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 1-0, 1-0, 2-0, 2-0. Blackburn probably aren't going to score. You probably want to go Man United defender. Rude didn't really haul, so the highest he scored was a brace, and I think he did that 3 times, maybe 4. So that's not going to get you a huge amount of points. He did get a lot of man of the matches and the points there. Silvestri and Beckham chipped in. I'm tempted to go with the safe side and just pick a Man United defender and hopefully guarantee at least 3 points, but probably 6, and hope for a bonus and man of the matches. Rude won't massively outscore it, but is Rude the safer pick with Flo's flag? But mind you, I think there's so many home options, strikers this week. Like I said, Jimmy, loads of people you can go for. BT, another one. He did quite well. I've played with him, signed him on the game. I really like him as a player. So I think he may do quite well this week. It's just a weird one. I haven't spoke about him all week, and I know when I mentioned it, there'll be a few people on him, but sometimes it's just the right week for the right player. It seems like that this week. Clinton Morrison and Stern John did really well. I think you could easily have them as an away striker. Birmingham capable of scoring 2, 3 and 4 goals, as you've seen in that. So lots of few options there. Probably wouldn't go near either side's defence, but midfield and strikers, RES. Sunderland, Fulham. So, yeah, it was goals galore, but this isn't the Sunderland team that will play. Again, you can see all these goals from Phillips and Piper and Rayner, Gray. They're not playing, so it's going to be a totally different game. Sava's Data may be a bit better. We're playing against that team. Stolker's Marley may be a bit more, I'm leaning towards avoid that one, to be honest, but make your own decisions. Tottenham, again, not very convincing. I don't think you would have picked them anyway, but the fact they're repping, I think you totally avoid them. Again, Middlesbrough not scoring very much, but are they going to be played better against a weaker Tottenham side? There's a chance they could have a good performance and a comfortable win. So that's a gamble, but it's one that can win you a lot of points over other people that aren't willing to take that Middlesbrough risk. West Ham, Arsenal. Again, I know people look at that thing and say, oh yeah, Arsenal definitely. But look at those score lines. It's not great. Do you really want Arsenal in a 2-0 win, 2-1 loss, 0-0, 1-0 win? Quite a few of those. So, yeah, maybe an Arsenal defender, as West Ham blanked on 11 times. Henry only managed to score 2 braces. So that was it. So that isn't great. Vieira did quite well on the assists. That's 8's quite high. Vieira and Henry getting more of the man of the matches. Probably Vieira week, to be honest, but maybe a Laurent and Ashley Cole, a Sol Campbell. That might be your better bets. Last one. So again, my usual bits of where you can pick theme from. I think Villa, you can pick any position. Charlton, you avoid. Bolton and Man City, midfielders and attackers. Chelsea, I think you could pick all 3 positions. Newcastle, probably only Shearer. Everton, I think you could have their defender. West Brom, I think you could have all 3. Leeds, I think defenders or strikers. Not so convinced on that striker one, actually, Shez. Liverpool, defence and midfield. Shearer's a good player. Type of game he could win, score 2-0 and do really well. Man United, all positions. Even though neither of them are strong. Blackburn, absolutely not. Southampton, strikers. I would have had midfielders, but there's no Svensson, so I don't rate anyone else in there. Birmingham, Brian Hughes possibly in the midfield slot, but yes, Morrison and John looking very good. Sunderland, so again, I don't think we could have, and this is even with Sunderland with that 3.2 data. I'm not sure you could have a defender with the high chance of Fulham scoring. The midfielder options are low and the striker option is injured. So that could easily be 3 crosses. Fulham, maybe I'd change that midfielder one to a green tick now. Definitely Saba is an option. Tottenham, again, data-wise, defence and strikers were an option. I think with the rep, they're probably all 3 crosses. Middlesbrough, again, defenders and midfielders, I think are an option. I don't think they ever score enough for... Again, Boxic away from home, probably not. West Ham, no, not for me. Arsenal, all 3 positions, leaning more towards defenders. Okay, so back in it. Stop sharing the screen. How do I do that? So that's it this week. Started one with Darren. He zoned out. Got it done. I'll post it on the chat and stuff now. Hopefully that helps next week. If people have been to Meg, me and Ray Lewis are going on a Sim Data strike. So show some Meg.